Welcome back. We're continuing on in our series, 7 Easy Steps to Getting Started in Mobile Data Collection using KoboToolbox. If you do want a certificate for taking this course, head over to the Humanitarian Data Academy. You can create an account for free there, so you can take this course for free here or for free there. But if you do it on the Humanitarian Data Academy, you get a certificate of achievement at the end. So I can track your progress as you work through the videos and then give you that certificate at the end. So so far, we've gone through the easy steps to kind of get started, right? So you create a username and password in KoboToolbox, you create your account, you install the Kobo Collect app on your Android device, you then set up the settings in Kobo Collect, you created your first questionnaire, then you got that questionnaire in your app and you filled it out. And now we're in step 6, where we're going to be checking the data that's been submitted. We're going to check that data that's coming into the server, okay? So let's go back to KoboToolbox. Okay, so we're back in KoboToolbox. I'm here in my main project setting. And what you can see is that under my projects, go down to first questionnaire. We can see it's deployed. We can see who the owner is. We can see when it was deployed. And then we can see 2 submissions. So that's because in our previous video, we submitted 1 through the device and we submitted 1 through the browser. Okay, so there are those 2 ways to submit data. So I'm going to click on that project, first questionnaire. It's going to be bringing you into the summary tab. Okay, and you can see that 2 submissions were made. Now we're going to go over to form, okay? And that's where you deployed the form. That's where you can also edit it. So if you ever need to edit your form, you can always edit or save. And that's how you edit it. If you edit, you always have to redeploy. That was a little side note there. But here's where you collect that data, you create that form, you click open. But the next tab is then called data, okay? And you can see there's 2 rows in here, and each row is 1 submission. It was one of them was this data, one of them was the browser data we submitted, okay? And you can see that the table format is up top, okay? So you can see how many people in your household, 5, what's your date of birth, this, what's your this, okay? So each column is then a question and the responses to that question, okay? And then at the end, you can see some extra information. So there is version ID, UUID, submission time, submitted by. So you've got some basic kind of metadata that's been submitted as well. Now, over on the left-hand side, under table, you see reports. So here you can see maybe some basic graphs. What's your date of birth? We've got here and here. These were the responses, and very basic analysis. This is not a great way to do your analysis, but if you're not super comfortable with analysis outside of KoboToolbox, then feel free to kind of use this for some summary stats of your data. If you collect pictures or signatures or anything, those will show up in the image gallery, but then you've got this download section. So when you've got data, you can say, I want this in CSV or XLS format. I want the value in header format to be in labels. There are advanced options as well, which you can feel free to play with, but I'm just going to then say export my data, and it's going to export it in the XLS, so in Excel, okay? And I'm going to download that, and whoop, I'm going to click first questionnaire here. And that's opened right up in Excel. If I expand all these columns, I can then see all of those questions have come. Now, you might see something funky. What are your household needs? Remember how that was a multiple select question, okay? We selected multiple different options. So you'll see one column where each of the options is listed and it's got a space in between. But then there's also a column for each of those options where there's 1s and 0s, okay? So did they choose healthcare? They both chose healthcare, so 1 means true. And did they choose housing or shelter? 1 was a 0, 1 was a 1. So 0 means they didn't select that, and 1 means they did. Multiple choice can be a bit tricky, or multiple select can be a bit tricky to analyze. And that's something I do teach in my other courses on how do you actually analyze KoboToolbox data. I'll tell you about that at the end, but that is how you get your data from the server down into Excel, and then from there you can analyze it in Excel or pull it into another software that you can use to analyze it. So hopefully that was helpful. I will see you in the next step. You are almost there. That is step number 6. We only have one more step till we finish this short series. So I will see you in the next video. And why don't you go and do that, download the data, try that out for yourself, and then meet me in step 7.